The old human warship drifted silently through the empty black of space. For 200 years, the HSS Vengeance had been lost among the stars, moving slowly away from the site of its last battle. Its hull was scarred with plasma burns and impact craters, telling the story of a desperate fight long ago. Inside the ship, most systems were dark. Only the basic life support and the ship's AI core remained active, consuming the minimum power needed to survive. The AI, calling itself Max, had spent the long decades slowly repairing what it could with the ship's damaged maintenance drones. Critical power reserve reached, Max announced to the empty bridge. Initiating emergency protocols. In the medical bay, frost began to melt from a single cryopod. Unlike the other pods, which had failed over the years, this one still held a living human. Captain Jack opened his eyes slowly, his mind struggling to work after the long sleep. "Status report," he managed to say, his voice rough from disuse. "Captain," Max replied, "you have been in cryosleep for 198 years, 7 months, and 12 days. Ship systems are at 31% functionality. Current location unknown." Jack tried to sit up but fell back, his muscles weak. "The crew? I regret to inform you that all other cryopods failed. You are the sole survivor." The news hit Jack like a physical blow. 300 crew members, all gone. His friends, his team, everyone he had known. Dead while he slept. "What happened to us, Max?" "The last thing I remember is the battle." The view screen on the wall flickered to life, showing footage from the ship's memory banks. The Vengeance was part of humanity's first contact mission, sent to meet an alien civilization called the Krell. What should have been a peaceful meeting turned into a massacre. The Krell ships opened fire without warning, destroying most of the human fleet in minutes. "You ordered an emergency jump to escape," Max explained. "The drive was damaged during the jump. We've been drifting ever since." Jack managed to stand, supporting himself against the wall. "Did anyone else escape? Did Earth send help?" "Unknown. All communication systems were destroyed in the attack." Over the next few days, Jack regained his strength. He spent hours on the bridge, watching the recordings of the battle over and over. The unprovoked attack. The deaths of his friends. The desperate escape. "They fired first," he whispered. "We came in peace, and they slaughtered us." On the 7th day after waking, the ship's sensors detected something. 3 ships of alien design, approaching the Vengeance. "Krell patrol vessels," Max confirmed. "They have spotted us." Jack felt his heart race. "Weapon status?" "Main weapons offline. 1 auxiliary rail gun operational." "Not enough to fight," Jack said. "Can they detect life signs aboard?" "Negative. Our power signature is minimal. They likely believe we are debris." Jack watched the screen as the Krell ships scanned the Vengeance. They were larger and more advanced than the ships that had attacked the human fleet 2 centuries ago. Their civilization had grown while humanity's fate remained unknown. "Access their communications," Jack ordered. "Let's learn what we can." Max intercepted the Krell transmissions, translating their language. The patrol reported finding an ancient human warship, but classified it as non-functional debris. They were moving on. "They think we're dead," Jack said. "All humans." Accessing their information network, Max reported. "The Krell Empire spans 52 star systems now. They claim in their history that humans attacked them first, forcing them to defend themselves. They've rewritten history," Jack said, anger building in his chest. "They attacked us without provocation, and now they've made themselves the victims." As the Krell ships moved away, Jack stood up straight for the first time since waking. "Max, begin full repair sequences. Reroute all power except life support to restoration of engines and weapons systems." May I ask your intentions, Captain? Jack looked at the retreating Krell ships on the screen, his face hardening with resolve. They think humanity is dead and forgotten. They've built an empire on lies while my crew and my species were murdered. He touched the captain's insignia on his tattered uniform. The vengeance will live up to its name. We're going to remind the Krell that humanity isn't so easy to erase from the galaxy. The ship hummed as power began flowing to long-dormant systems. In the darkness of space, the ghost ship awakened, carrying the last human in his quest for justice. The Krell outpost hung in orbit around a small moon, its spinning rings glowing with energy. For 3 weeks, Jack had watched it from a distance, studying patrol patterns and defenses. The Vengeance hovered silently, its stealth systems masking its presence from Krell scanners. Their security is impressive, Jack said, studying the holographic display. But outdated compared to what we had before the attack. The Krell have grown complacent, Max replied. They believe no enemies remain to challenge them. Jack smiled grimly. Their mistake. The ship's repairs had progressed steadily. The Vengeance wasn't at full strength, but its main engines and weapon systems were operational. Max had even managed to restore the targeting computers to 80% efficiency. Begin hacking sequence, Jack ordered. Max sent invisible digital tendrils into the Krell network. Their outdated security was no match for even a damaged human AI. Information poured into the Vengeance's computers. I'm accessing their historical archives, Max reported. The Krell have entirely rewritten the first contact incident. They claim humans were violent invaders. What else? The Krell Emperor, Grand Leader Gore, wears what appears to be a human skull as a ceremonial headpiece. It is displayed as a trophy from their great victory over humanity. Jack's knuckles turned white as he gripped the command chair. They celebrate our extinction. Further data revealed something unexpected. The Krell had reverse-engineered human technology from the destroyed ships, using it to expand their empire rapidly. They had conquered and enslaved 3 other alien species in the past century. They used our own technology against others, Jack whispered. Our deaths fueled their conquest. The time for watching was over. Jack plotted an attack course, targeting the outpost's main power core. This is for Earth, he said as the Vengeance moved from its hiding place. The Krell had no warning. The first shots from the human ship destroyed their communications array, preventing any distress call. The next volley targeted their weapon systems. Their shields are down, Max reported. Jack opened a communication channel to the outpost. The confused Krell commander appeared on screen, his reptilian features showing shock at seeing a human. Impossible, the commander gasped. Your kind is extinct. You missed one, Jack replied coldly. And now you'll pay for your lies. The Vengeance's main cannon fired, striking the outpost's reactor. The explosion tore through the station, breaking it apart in a brilliant flash of light. Before destroying the last escape pod, Jack transmitted a message to its occupants: humanity remembers. Humanity returns. He captured only one survivor, a Krell officer named Drac. Under interrogation, Drac revealed more about the Empire's use of stolen human technology and their continued fear that some humans might have survived. The Emperor forbids even mentioning your species, Drac said fearfully. It is as if he fears your ghosts. We're not ghosts, Jack replied. Just one very angry human with a score to settle. As alarms blared across Krell space, the Vengeance vanished into the darkness, already moving toward its next target. Jack studied the alien ship on his view screen. Unlike the aggressive design of Krell vessels, this craft was sleek and seemed built for speed rather than war. It was damaged, limping away from what appeared to be a recent battle. Krell pursuers detected, Max reported. They're hunting that ship. Scan for life forms, Jack ordered. For beings aboard. Species unknown, but definitely not Krell. Jack made a quick decision. Intercept course. We're going to help them. The Vengeance moved swiftly, positioning itself between the damaged ship and its pursuers. When the Krell vessels came into range, Jack fired warning shots across their path. "This is Captain Jack of the HSS Vengeance," he broadcast. "Leave this area immediately." The Krell ships hesitated, then retreated. The legend of the ghost human ship had spread quickly through their ranks. None wanted to be the next victim. The alien vessel hailed the Vengeance. On screen appeared a slender blue-skinned being with large silver eyes. "I am Lena of the Trill," she said in halting Krell language. "You saved us." "Why?" "Enemy of my enemy," Jack replied simply. "The Krell slaughtered my people long ago." Lena's eyes widened. "Human? The ghost warriors are real?" Jack learned that the Trill had been fighting Krell oppression for generations. Like humans, they had been falsely branded as aggressors when the Krell conquered their homeworld. Lena came aboard the Vengeance with her 3 companions. As an engineer, she marveled at human technology. "Even damaged, your ship outclasses our best vessels," she said. "With repairs, you could strike directly at the Krell homeworld." "Repairs require resources I don't have," Jack admitted. Lena smiled. "But we do. The Trill resistance has hidden bases throughout this sector. Help us fight the Krell, and we'll help repair your ship." An alliance was born that day. The last human and the oppressed Trill united against their common enemy. As Jack and Lena planned their next move, news reached them that the Krell Emperor had dispatched his entire Third Fleet to hunt down the human ship. "They fear you," Lena said. "One ship, one human has them terrified." Jack nodded grimly. "Good. Let them be afraid." For the first time in 200 years, the hunters have become the hunted. Broadcasting now, Max announced as the Vengeance orbited the busy Krell trading hub. Jack watched as his message spread across every Krell communication channel. The truth about First Contact, the unprovoked Krell attack, the slaughter of peaceful human explorers, and the lies told for centuries afterward. He included footage from the Vengeance's data banks showing the real events. "Signal is being repeated across 17 systems," Lena reported from her station. "The Krell can't block it fast enough." The response was immediate. Confusion spread through Krell territory as citizens saw evidence contradicting everything they'd been taught. Some dismissed it as fake, but many began asking questions their leaders couldn't answer. Among those watching was Commander Vex, a young Krell officer whose family had served the Empire for generations. Unlike his superiors, Vex found himself unable to ignore the evidence. "The Emperor demands the human ship be destroyed immediately," Vex's superior roared during an emergency meeting. 50 warships have been deployed. "But what if the human speaks truth?" Vex dared to ask. His question earned him confinement to quarters, branded a sympathizer. Meanwhile, Jack and Lena led a daring raid on a Krell military archive. While Trill rebels created a distraction, they downloaded classified military files. "Jack, you need to see this," Lena said as they escaped, her voice tight with fear. The files revealed a horrifying truth. 50 years earlier, a Krell exploration vessel had discovered Earth. Humans had rebuilt since the First Contact disaster, unaware of the wider galaxy. The Krell Emperor had ordered preparations for a massive invasion force, determined to finish what they started centuries ago. "The attack fleet launches in 30 days, Jack whispered, staring at the plans. "Earth has defenses, but nothing that could stop this. They don't even know the Krell exist." His personal quest for revenge suddenly became a race to save his homeworld. Earth had survived and thrived, believing they were alone in the universe. Now their existence hung in the balance, with only one forgotten ship standing between them and extinction. "We need to warn them," Jack said, his voice firm with resolve. Max, plot the fastest course to Earth. At our current capabilities, Max calculated, the journey would take 42 days. Too late. Jack needed a miracle. It's impossible, Lena said, studying the jump drive schematics. This technology was experimental even when your ship was built. Jack paced the engine room, desperation evident in every step. The Vengeance had sustained heavy damage escaping a Krell ambush. 3 rebel Trill ships had been destroyed covering their retreat. Earth has no idea what's coming, Jack replied. If we can't warn them, billions will die. Max's voice came through the intercom. Captain, I've analyzed all possible routes. Even at maximum speed, we cannot reach Earth before the Krell fleet. Jack slammed his fist against the wall. There has to be a way. Lena hesitated, then pointed to the ship's experimental jump drive. It had been damaged during the original escape 200 years ago and never properly repaired. This technology, if we redirect all power, we might make one massive jump. But the calculations would need to be perfect. One error and the ship would be torn apart. What are our chances? Maybe 30%, she admitted. And it would likely destroy the drive completely. As they debated, a message arrived through a secure channel. It was from Commander Vex. Human ship, the young Krell officer said, I've seen your evidence. I can no longer serve a lie. The Emperor has dispatched our elite hunter squadron to your position. You have hours at most. The message included the Krell attack patterns and a narrow escape corridor. He's helping us, Jack said in disbelief. Or leading us into a trap, Lena countered. Jack made his decision. Max, prepare the jump drive. Lena, follow Vex's coordinates. If this is our only shot to save Earth, we take it. Hours later, with Krell ships closing in, the Vengeance positioned itself exactly where Vex had indicated. The jump drive hummed dangerously, consuming every ounce of power the ship could generate. Drive at critical levels, Max warned. Structural integrity compromised. Jack took his captain's chair. All or nothing. For Earth. The ship shuddered violently as space itself seemed to fold around them. A blinding flash engulfed the bridge. When Jack's vision cleared, he saw the familiar shape of Saturn through the viewscreen. We made it, he whispered, as warning lights flashed across every console. The Vengeance was barely functioning, but they had reached Earth's solar system. Now came the harder part, convincing humanity to prepare for war. Earth's defense fleet surrounded the damaged Vengeance, weapons locked on the unknown vessel. 200 years of isolation had made humanity cautious. Their ships were impressive, sleek, powerful vessels that showed how far Earth had advanced. This is Admiral Tom of Earth Defense Command. Identify yourself immediately. Jack stood tall on his bridge, dressed in his tattered uniform. I am Captain Jack of the HSS Vengeance, First Contact Expedition. I've returned with a warning. The aliens who attacked us 2 centuries ago are coming to finish what they started. Skepticism greeted his story until Max transmitted the Vengeance's historical records and the stolen Krell battle plans. Emergency meetings followed. Earth's leaders were shocked but quick to act. Your ship's design matches our historical records, Admiral Tom admitted during the War Council. And the Krell fleet we've detected approaching confirms your warning. Earth's shipyards worked around the clock to strengthen defenses. The Vengeance received critical repairs, its systems updated with modern Earth technology. Jack shared everything he knew about Krell tactics and weaknesses. Commander Vex arrived 3 days later in a stolen scout ship, bringing more intelligence about the Krell fleet. The Emperor commands the flagship personally, Vex explained. He believes this will be his greatest triumph, the final extinction of humanity. Jack studied the battle plans. They expect a frightened, unprepared world. Not an alliance ready to fight back. The Trill rebels, led by Lena, launched simultaneous attacks on Krell supply lines, weakening their advance forces. When the main Krell fleet arrived at the edge of the solar system, they found not a helpless planet, but a battle-ready armada. Admiral Tom's voice echoed across all channels, "This is Earth. We know what you did to our explorers. We know your lies. We are ready." The space around Jupiter's orbit erupted in fire as the two fleets clashed. Earth ships moved with unexpected speed and coordination, striking hard at Krell weak points identified by Vex. At the heart of the battle, the Vengeance led a small strike team directly toward the Krell Emperor's massive flagship. "This ends today," Jack said, strapping on his combat gear. "One way or another, humanity will have its justice." The boarding pods launched, carrying Jack, Lena, and a team of Earth's best soldiers toward their date with destiny. The boarding team cut through the Krell flagship's hull, entering amid chaos and blaring alarms. Jack led the way, his outdated weapon replaced with Earth's newest plasma rifle. Beside him fought Lena and Earth's elite soldiers. "The throne room is 3 levels up," Vex said through their comms. "The Emperor will be there." They fought through waves of Krell guards. Outside, Earth's fleet held its own against the larger Krell armada, the battle illuminating space with explosions like artificial stars. Jack and Lena reached the throne room doors as the last of their team secured the path behind them. They exchanged a look, one human and one Trill, united by a common enemy. "For everyone they've taken from us," Lena said. Jack nodded. "For justice." The doors burst open. Emperor Gore sat upon a throne built from salvaged human ship parts. On his head rested a crown with a human skull embedded in its center. "The last human," Gore hissed, rising to his imposing height. "I should have known your kind would not stay dead." "You rewrote history," Jack said, advancing slowly. "You murdered peaceful explorers and built an empire on lies." Gore laughed. "History belongs to the victors. And I will be victorious again today." The Emperor attacked with surprising speed for his size. The battle was fierce, with Gore's ceremonial armor deflecting many of their shots. He wounded Lena and knocked Jack's weapon away. As Gore loomed over him, Jack pulled a hidden blade from his boot, the same one he'd carried 200 years ago. "Humans," Gore spat. "The unkillable species. I've always feared some of you survived." "You should have made sure," Jack replied, driving the blade into a gap in Gore's armor. As the Emperor fell, Vex entered the throne room. He took control of the ship's communication systems and broadcast images of the defeated Emperor to the entire Krell fleet. "The age of lies is over," Vex announced. "The Emperor has fallen." Krell ships began to surrender one by one. Those loyal to Gore fought on but were quickly overwhelmed by the combined Earth and Trill forces. In the aftermath, a new peace was established. The enslaved species were freed, and the truth of history was restored. The Krell, under Vex's new leadership, began the long process of making amends. The Vengeance found its final home as a museum ship in Earth orbit, a testament to one human's determination. On its observation deck, Jack stood with Lena and Admiral Tom, looking out at the stars. "What will you do now?" Tom asked. Jack smiled for the first time in 2 centuries. "Live. Build something better than revenge." As ships from Earth, Trill, and reformed Krell worlds moved peacefully through space, the legacy of the forgotten ship and its captain became not just a story of vengeance, but of justice that changed the course of galactic history.